Tommy Lee.
Don't forget to unmute him.
What in the hell is going on? What's going on? This is the Motley Coil crew, as you can see. Fucking 4 Motley guys on here. We're ready to talk a little bit about building. Might talk about bodybuilding too. Is what I was thinking about. We got some people volunteering to take their shirt off for the show. One of them is me. How's everybody doing today? It's Tuesday. It's a Vape at 5. I got some friends here with me today that were gracious enough to join me. First, we're going to start off with Mr. Johnny Drips. How you doing, Johnny? What's going on, homie?
Oh, Scott, thank you so much for having me on your show. The last time I was here, I was nude from the waist down. I had my towel going in the hot tub with Charlie. I had a rager the whole time, so it was really hard to contain it. But
so hard. I was so
you know,
hard
when you're the
show.
vaping Tommy Lee, you know, you can only do so many things. But
what did you guys?
Hi, everybody in chat. Thanks for stopping by. I'm back again on Scott's channel. I love being here. I'm just going to give you a quick little buffet. A lot of it, you've seen it on a couple of the other shows I've been on recently. But anyway, in case you haven't, the Yeehee SL with the Dwarf Direct Lung RTA, the Box Mod Mafia Tiny V2 with the Armor 2.0, SQ 217 with the little black Ultim Haku Cruiser, Core Designs 1.5 with the Skyfall. Got my man Dylan with the Never Normal accessories on them, and just the Orion with the signature tips, panels, tip, and button. Keeping it fresh. Some juice real quick. I got some Syntax from Prohibition. Some Honey Don't from Transistor. This shit is really good. And 2 new ones from Pillar of Clouds. Their Kaizen line, Creamed and Mockingbird, are freaking amazing. So if you guys aren't on to if you guys are looking for new juices, I would highly suggest all 4 of those. So why don't we pass it on over to Mr. Nick Devine, because I'm always interested to know what Nick's vaping on.
Yeah, what's up? Thanks for having me, Scott. I don't think I've ever been on a triple parallel with actually the profile with a mesh coil in there. I did it last night. I wanted to try it again because it does have great flavor with a mesh coil. And Turk V2 with a Zenith 3. And I'm doing Ohmsick ELiquid Skull Cake, Dead Man's Hand number 77, and Adore ELiquid per consequence.
Very nice, very nice. Mr. Talien, how you doing, sir?
Yeah,
I'm doing great. So it's late in Germany as always, but I'm fine with that. So I'm vaping right now on my triple stack Purge mod with the Carnage from Purge 2, and I'm vaping some Adore ELiquid. I just have to look up what kind of ELiquid from Adore I'm vaping right now. I guess it is the same like Nick says. the
Pecan
pecan
sequence.
sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. It tastes really nice. Like I was surprised because I don't vape nut stuff a lot of time. And on my
Are
other
we
stuff,
muted,
I
Scott?
have
No, I don't think so.
Better not be muted.
the
No,
other
let me
stuff I
check.
vaping at. I
No,
don't
you're not.
use
You're not.
only
You're
for
not
Coil.
muted. No.
Sorry, Talien.
No problem. Yeah, I only vape on one mod right now all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's
I remember the last time we talked, you had, I don't think it was the same mod though. You had like 2 mods together. Ooh, what is that?
no, it was this one. My triple stack sub-home innovation.
Yeah. Sub
Yeah, when I think about another what I really like to vape it, it's my Wigmod V3. But the problem with that one is I don't have the rig key to unscrew the button, so it looks like shit, and I don't know how to screw it out. So it stands in my little desk, and I never use it again.
Well, hey, Talent, thanks for joining me. Damn, that is an angry-looking purge mod there. I like it. All right, well, I'm vaping on over here. I'm gonna vape some. I got the Rebirth RTA. This is gonna be.
It's
I got
pretty peaceful, actually.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Is that triple stack? Got 3 batteries in there?
Yeah. It's a Suicide Queen mod. Then a stacking piece with the Twizzard. The next one is Twizzard 2. And the button. And the Carnage still from Purge.
Wow.
With a golden trip tip. I would like to have, every kind of MacMod user that have a Plus or Copper MacMod know the same problem. When you polish your tube mod after 2 days, it looks like shit when you're always touching it. Like you can really see it shines up here, but it's really matte looking right down here. I want a black one. When anyone knows where I can find a black stacking tube, twisted.
I can find that for you.
Text. That would be pretty sick because on Purge mod itself, I don't find everything.
Nick,
like that would be nice.
Nick, you ever polish a mod that big?
Every night. You
ever polish on that big, Nick? I know Johnny has. Johnny and I have talked about it.
I polish the shit out of my vapes.
Terrible. Well, hey, Talent, thanks for having you on, man. I love having you back, dude. Absolutely fantastic. I am vaping on the Rebirth RTA. This will be up for review tomorrow. Having a wonderful experience. And as I mentioned yesterday, I mentioned something that is going to be groundbreaking when I review this mod or this RTA tomorrow. I'm going to tell you something that nobody knows but me. But then tomorrow I'm going to tell everybody else. So stay tuned for that. It's very important information. All right, so let's jump in here. So this is the, I don't know, now I don't know if we're going to keep the name of the show or if this is a one-time thing or whatever, but I figured today we have a little builders chat. We have some very experienced builders here to chat, which I'm extremely thankful for having everybody on here. But I wanted to.
You got more people coming in?
Got more? No, you guys. Just you guys.
Oh,
my computer can't handle any more people, Nick. Now, anyone who comes in, the computer will crash. I was watching my stream. My stream was dying the entire time you guys were talking. I don't know if you knew that. I was technical genius. I fixed it though, because I'm awesome. All right, guys. So, what is some? Okay, let's start out. I got a couple questions for you guys, and we're just going to kick them around the room, start some conversation, and we'll just see where it takes us. But first thing I want to know is what is the most impressive device that you've used so far this year, 2019? And you can think of anything that you've used, maybe end of 2018 into 2019. And I'm specifically looking more for rebuildables. So any kind of like maybe RTA, RDA, or something you use, or if you want to say a mech or even a mod if you wanted to. But let's start it out. Why don't we start at the bottom and we'll go with Mr. Talien. What have you seen this year?
So the nicest thing I saw, but I never used it before, was the Death Trap and the Colorado from WaveGate. It's an 80 millimeter RDA because I built like, when the people know me, I build like really big. And I like the post holes. One RDA that I have here, it's still my favorite because of the massive post holes it has. Like literally, this post holes have no fear of big holes. It's the Bone RDA, 24 millimeter, and the best device for me is the Subboom innovation because it has a permanent contact switch, and you don't get any arcing on the switch and on the batteries, so you can rest longer with your batteries without destroying them. And for second, my perch mod. But the problem I have with it is that it destroys your batteries really quick. Like the arcing is like crazy.
Nick, how about you, man? Anything new? Anything new that you're really impressed with this year?
I mean, I've been liking the Turk V2 a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried to put a build in the Ardent, but I mean, really the most. I mean, ever since last year, I got this triple parallel. That's been like my favorite device. But rebuildable wise, I mean, there's been a lot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warrior's awesome. Fucking the Twisted Messes Pros are great. Especially the matte blue one. I like that a lot. And I like the Goon 25 too, but that's I don't consider that new. It's just bigger. The layer cake from District 5. I'm looking over here to see what else. Oh, you know what doesn't get a lot of love in the build community that should get more love?
Me?
The Rebirth. You.
I need more love.
Yeah.
The
That's
Rebirth.
why, come on, 'cause you're funny, Scott.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, I think you and me are the only two people that think I'm funny. My wife doesn't think I'm funny at all. She thinks I'm a fucking idiot. She's upstairs trying to plan a vacation right now. I can hear her yelling on the phone at the travel agent. She like doesn't understand the concept that the travel agent is trying to help you get a. She's like, why don't I do that? Like, that's not how it works, Veronica. So what do you think? So you like the layer cake RDA? Do you like the vape on the layer cake RDA? Or do you just like
Not
it for,
the vape so much.
You just like for coils?
Yeah, mostly for coils. It doesn't vape too bad. You can't put anything in there. Like, you can't put like, you know, huge Fralians in there and expect it not to get hot. But if you just put regular aliens in there, it vapes good. I'm not big on short RDAs. I just don't really. That's not really how I vape. I put a lot of juice in my RDAs.
Yep.
A lot of cotton and big coils, and so it doesn't really for vaping. It's not really, but for building, I think it's nice. I mean, one screw. How can you beat that?
Yeah.
You know,
Zero screw.
Mr. Johnny D, what you got?
It's been a new world for me since January because I've kind of ventured into the high end of things. So I went from big airflow builder style dual coil RDAs to single coil tiny flavor chasing RDAs and RTAs. I will say for like dual coil so far, and I know this kind of came out end of last year, but like Nick said, the Rebirth. I love the Rebirth. It can accommodate bigger coils. You can run 6 coils in it. I like it with like a 0.08 N90 build on a tube mod, and it rips. Plus, I think it looks good. It's real simple on the outside, clean. I've really enjoyed that one. And then probably the thing I've been most impressed with is this. I just picked this up a couple weeks ago, the Dwarf Direct Lung, which it came out last year, but it's kind of like a step back in vaping as far as like what the mass market is used to. It's a single-sided airflow, which number one, I normally hate that.
Single-sided? There's no airflow on the other side?
Nope. No airflow on the other side.
How
just
big,
one side.
How big is the deck tiny?
The deck is, and that's the other thing. The deck is super tiny, and it's an old school deck where it's a 2-post, but it doesn't have post holes. You have to wrap it around the post.
Shut up.
The cool thing about it, though, is the airflow on the outside of the RTA is set. You can't adjust it, but there's different size deck inserts that screw into the base of the deck. So where the air is actually hitting the bottom of the coil, that's where you adjust your airflow. Now, it sounds more of like a pain in the ass because you can't just adjust it on the fly. But, dude, I'm telling you, you can dial it in to the exact vape you want, and the flavor on it is fucking insane. Like, it's like RDA level, like flavor. It's crazy.
That's awesome. That's something I need to look at because I need a good mouth to lung RTA.
And for me to get something and be okay just putting a fused Clapton in it, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Because I've put an Alien in it, and you can do it. The inexperienced person is not going to be able to fit an Alien in there. I was able to, but it didn't vape as well as it does with either round wire or fused Clapton.
Do you think Nick would be able to do it, Johnny? Do you think Nick would be able to?
Absolutely. Dude, Nick is like a build god. So
Nick is a build god.
He can basically do anything.
So I think
I could do it. I am the least experienced builder of anybody on this panel.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You would be in front of me.
Dude, I've only done an 8-core staggered fuse Clapton. I know that Nick and Talien have had to have done more than that.
Welcome to the Builder Show, where we all argue who's least experienced.
Well, I mean,
I'm least experienced. I challenge you.
I challenge you to show you how bad I suck.
I will tell you that the build community is like the opposite of everything else in the world. We're all so like modest and willing to help each other that none of us ever brag, which I think is awesome.
Except Nick. Nick brags a lot. Nick's a bragger.
He's a fucking vape god. So.
You know, it is true, though. It is the best part of the community, in my opinion. And it is a bunch of really good guys who all want to help each other. I mean, absolutely. That's how it really – and it's fantastic. I love being a part of it. It's absolutely the best. So, okay, so it's to me. And I'm going to mention – both RDAs I'm going to mention have already been mentioned. First is the Rebirth. The Rebirth RDA is phenomenal. The vape on it is as good. The airflow on it it's perfect. Like, I wish I could mimic that airflow on every RDA I have because the airflow on it is silky smooth. The flavor on it is fantastic. And I'm having a very similar experience with this. And it's just blowing my mind. But, you know, the RDA I'm using the most is the Turk. I use the Turk constantly. And it's because it's a great vape. It's easy. Okay, so first off, it's easy. It's got those. It's easy to install on with the posts. You know what I mean? It can hold decent sized builds, and it matches everything. I have a all black Turk RDA, and it matches everything. Everything that I use, it matches. It looks really, really nice. Yeah. So those are the two that really caught my attention this year. But there's been some other ones too, like that I've used that I really like as well. So it's not limited to those two, but those are the two that really stand out to me.
I've heard mixed things about the Turk, mostly good. There's a few people that I've talked to that they don't hate it. I don't think anybody has disliked it. I don't know. I'm kind of perplexed by it, to be honest with you, because to me it looks, and I've heard Turk talk about it when he was on your show, and I can tell from, you know, a designer's aspect of it that he basically designed it exactly the way that he wanted the original to be.
That's what he did. Yep.
Which I'm happy that he's doing that, and that he's actually, you know, finishing a project that he was passionate about, and it's the way to his liking, and he did it on his own. So I give him a lot of credit for that. The only, you know, and it may be that I don't know, this is not me talking trash or anything, but to me it looks like more like something that would have came out in 2017.
Well,
and that's fine though, because the people that he's trying to cater to, they love that style of RDA. You know, bigger airflow, fits bigger coils. It's meant mainly for dripping.
Yeah.
So it's more catered to a specific market, and that market is the people that love him. So it makes perfect sense. So I can't hate on it at all. I think it looks amazing.
I love it.
I haven't bought one. I do plan on getting one though.
I had it in my hand today. Actually, it was completely black, so I liked it too from the design. The only thing I have to say about it, I would wish that the old trip tip would fit on it. Like, I have the OG RTA from N.Devine83, sorry, and I love the trip tip. This cone trip tip, you know what I mean?
Yeah, tailpipe.
I fucking love that
too.
trip tip. Like, literally, it feels so good on the mouth, and I would wish that the same trip tip would fit on the newer RDA too. But it's barely to fix, like barely, just a little bit.
He said he may design one that fits the same drip tip for it. For the V2. And he would have to make 2 because he'd have to make one for the 25 and one for the 24.
Yeah,
so,
see, like people either loved or hated that drip tip.
Yeah.
See, me, I hated it. I don't know. It was like it almost felt like I was putting like a penis up to my mouth. You know what I mean? Like
Johnny, you know how that feels?
I'm not ragging on it, but I prefer to customize my vape with the colored drip tip that I like because I like matchy, and you're kind of like stuck with that drip tip.
How do you know what a penis feels like against your mouth?
Well, bro, I mean, come on. We all suck on these robot dicks, right?
We all went to scout camp. Damn it!
Hey, I'm Tommy Lee. I can reach my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. You're Tommy Lee. The fuck?
Exactly.
So I'll tell you, I love the original drip tip, and I actually mentioned that to him. I love the tailpipe drip tip. I think it's fantastic. I really, really do. I think that I like this setup. I like the setup better on the second one. I like the room on it. And you know what? Yeah, it is kind of a throwback, but it's a dripping atomizer. Yeah, it's a dripping. It's not. The vaping has changed so much since 2016, 2017. Yeah. Nobody was squonking back then, and now people are more conscious of the squonking, and people are more. There's so many deckless RDAs now, postless RDAs. Yep. You know what I mean? That going with a traditional builder style, clamp style RDA is kind of out of the norm, and I'm glad they're still on the market. A lot
of people said that about the Warrior. Because it's not the easiest deck to build on, but I didn't design it. When I say I mean JMT. We didn't design it to be the easiest deck to build on. We designed it around being a builder, but that it would perform like modern RDAs, if that makes sense. So, I completely get where he was going with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions in chat, put them in caps. I am slightly watching it. I'm watching like 10 different things right now because I have to watch my computer performance, which is going through the roof. And I have to watch the live stream to make sure it's connected. But I am also watching the chat. You know why? So I'm fucking awesome. I'm a multitasker. But I do need a production assistant. Nick, you think you can help me with that? Can you send me over one of your people to help me with my show?
Yeah, I'm gonna send over Kim Dixon.
Kim Dixon would be fantastic.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
So Brian Feeney. First of all, I did find my Ardent yesterday, just in case you didn't see the one that you gave me. I did find it. It was in a weird spot, but I found it.
It's in your bum.
But he just asked a question. He said, "Why do people say it's not for squonking?" I haven't tried to squonk it yet, but I'll tell you why. First of all, the cotton. It's like the dead rabbit. The cotton is it hangs down very low. So if it were to squonk up, the dish is very deep. If it were to squonk up, it would still take a while for it to get up there. Plus, if you're not careful, it could be a leaky son of a bitch.
Yeah. The airflow is
not a leaky already. Yeah.
The airflow's into the deck. So that I don't consider it a squonking RDA.
Squonk with it. You just got to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also
There's so many good squonking devices out there that you could now pick and choose. Like it's like exactly. This will be my squonk, that won't be.
Yeah, and then that's why I was saying, like he catered his design to the type of vape he likes and the people that like the vape the way he does. And I would venture to say most of those people are either builders or they're mech users that like to drip through the drip tip and just drip right on the coils and take a rip off their tube. So, but there's so much diversity in products out there these days that like you can literally buy something that's almost specifically built for a certain way of vaping.
Yeah.
That it's that's why like when people ask what's the best RDA or what's the best RTA, and it's like, well, what do you want to do with it?
Right.
So, there's just so many variables out there.
Absolutely.
And builders are a very small niche compared to the size of the vape market. So,
thoughts on HR 2084 requiring 21 years of age, even for online. So go around the room on that.
I don't mind the direction, but I think 21 might be a bit high. But I don't mind that direction at all.
Mr. Talien, what do you think? Now, you're not in the U.S., so it's a little different for you, but they're trying to pass it where you have to be 21 to vape here.
So in Germany, it's like that. So literally, like the television, all kind of type television news, they tell vaping is bad and no one should vape because of the chemicals in there. And then studies always argue back that it's not possible, that you can have health problems and everything like with vaping. So Germany really discussed right now to put up vaping for under 18 because a lot of kids in Germany start to smoke, and vaping is a much healthier way to go away from smoking. So it's better for the children actually. So when they are 16 or something, to start vaping. So in Germany, with 18, when you are 18, you can vape. But Germany thinks of it to put it down to 16 for vaping because you can't get any health problems with it. So until right now, the information says you can't get any health problems about vaping or with vaping. So I'm fine with that too, because when I think, okay, there's a child that smokes, I would be much nicer in my mind if he would vape, because I know vape does nothing with your body at all.
Mr. Drips?
I've talked about this on Never Heard of Them, and some people have opposing views to me, but I think it's fucking stupid. And my justification is, up until now, you were legally able to buy cigarettes after the age of 18. So you've allowed people to legally develop an addiction. However, you cut it off and change it at 21. So what about the people that are in that, 4 years of compatibility where they can't buy cigarettes even though they've developed a habit? You've said, oh, it's okay. We'll take your money. We'll take your tax money, and you can legally do it. But now that you have the addiction, if you do it, it's against the law and you can get fined or get your parents in trouble, or, it's, to me, it's, the government is trying to make themselves look better. And also I think they're trying to make it seem like they're cutting down on underage vaping. When in reality, what they're doing is they're adding fuel that they can say, oh, well, now underage is 21. So we have 4 million other people that are 18 to 21. So our underage vaping statistics are even higher.
Yeah.
So they're just justifying their claims by changing the laws that we don't have control of.
It's interesting to, yeah. No, that's a good point.
I thought. You can't give somebody the opportunity to do something and then take it away from them. And my other retort is, if I'm 18 and I can sign up for the military to carry a gun and carry grenades and go to war and risk my life, but you can't tell me I can smoke a cigarette or vape nicotine, which is not ever caused anyone to die that I know of. I mean, I'm sure you can nic overdose by drinking straight nicotine.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's supposed to be helping people's health. But the reality of it is that our government doesn't give a fuck about health because they profit so greatly off of healthcare and off of smoking and off of sickness.
I mean, I guess for me, like a 21-year-old, so I think so. I'm kind of torn on it because I think 21 years of age vaping kind of solves a lot of problems right out of the gate. You know what I mean? But 90% of the time, the easy answer is always the right one. And for me, if you can fight in the military, if you can enlist in the military and be put into fucking sand and have to shoot at people, you should be allowed to smoke and drink, for God's sakes. Like, that just makes absolutely no sense to me that you feel. So the reasoning behind making someone 21 is because you feel they have a better judgment. I assume that's the argument ultimately, is that a 21-year-old has better judgment than an 18-year-old. Okay, well, that may be true. In a lot of cases, it isn't true. Because if you haven't matured by 18, you're probably not going to be matured by 20 or 21.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How old were you when you started smoking?
13.
Nick, how old were you when you started smoking?
I was like 18.
Okay. Talien, how old were you when you started smoking?
Actually, I never smoked. I smoked only some pot when I was 16.
So 16. So pretty much every person you knew ever that smoked did it before it was legal. So what the fuck does the law matter?
The law doesn't matter. Now, my biggest thing is, like, if you're able to fight for the country, then, and the other part of that is that over-regulating things doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. And it's just overreach. And it really feels, I kind of feel, you know, I just want to be left alone to do what I want to do, as long as I'm not hurting anybody else. And I don't think that vaping is hurting anybody else. So it really feels to me, it just feels sinister is what it feels like. And that's a scary thing, even though I think that making it 21 years of age would be, you know, ultimately would solve a lot of problems in the short term, at least. But the point that you bring up, Johnny, is really good, that once they get up to 21, now they've got a whole nother range of people that are underage vapors. And it just makes it even worse. You know what I mean? So I get it.
Yep. I mean, how many people wait until they're 18 to smoke and wait until they're 21 to drink?
Nobody. That makes no sense. Why would you do that?
It's a fact of life. And would I prefer everybody to wait until they're 21 to do anything that could be viewed as unhealthy? Of course. If we're talking about an optimal world, nobody would do anything unhealthy.
Right.
We would all eat vegetables and, you know, eat clean, and we would run and exercise every day, and we wouldn't smoke or drink. And, you know, I see you raising your hand, Talien. We could tell you go to the gym, bro. I get it.
I am a lot thinner than you, but
oh, thank you. Thank you.
I want that you talk to the end. Just raise my hand like in the school.
I'm less fat than you. Thank you.
Like, I have a really different opinion about, I guess, everything. Like, when we say humans always have, for all stupid stuff, a rule. Like, when you are in America, there's one YouTube channel, it's called Adrenaline Addiction.
Ooh.
And they go out in the desert or in Grand Canyon and go cliff jumping. Like, literally, like, just like vaping. When you go out 100 miles away of any civilization and go cliff jumping with your body, what's wrong with it? And when you go out with your vape shit, what's wrong with it? So, like, basically, there in Germany, especially in Germany, I think in Germany it's much harder than in any American state. We have stupid laws. Like, we have 10 laws for every stupid thing, literally. And I think there are always people that trying to bring up a new law to make more money, like in literally any kind of topic on the world. It all depends on money. Germany always stands out like a social state, a social land. They don't care about your health. They only care about you bring the money or you don't bring the money for us. It's basically like in every other country. Like, and that fucked me up. In Germany, our law books are big like that. So,
yeah,
Batman's
but you bring up a good point. Like, socialized healthcare, like in England or in Canada, they promote vaping because it's less harmful. So they promote you to do the less harmful of the two because it costs their government less money, which seems to make more sense to me. But our government profits off of healthcare. Therefore, it makes more sense for people to be sick and make stupid choices.
Right. And that's what makes money.
We have the highest levels of heart disease, the highest levels of smoking, and I could go on, the highest rates of diabetes. I mean, it's an industry. It's an industry to make money off of people being unhealthy. So why are they going to change to actually make it healthier to live in this country? They're just changing the perception and the image is all that they're doing, in my opinion.
Yep.
I could be wrong, but
basically, when you think of it, what stands out of smoking, what of kind of disease you will get of smoking, or what you can possibly get, and what kind of disease you can get or possibly get of vaping. When you count out each one, I think there is allergic reaction of PG or PG, like Rip Trippers has one against PG. That's the only thing that is known worldwide right now about vaping. And why are our states not illegalize cigarettes at all? When you know there is an option that's healthier than the other thing, that's only because of money. Like as you said, the healthcare gets some money in, the tobacco industries get some money in, every kind of people get a lot of money to the state itself, and that's the only interest of the state itself. Like it's basically all kind of fucked up.
Healthcare, tobacco, and pharmaceuticals are 3 of the top 5 industries in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vaping affects all 3 of them. So why do you think they're all gunning for us?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about money. Never ever think that. Let me just tell you, and this is from my 45 years on this earth. Never think that a decision is not made without considering money.
Oh,
by a governing body. Money is always in the decision making process. And when you're affecting negative profits for certain companies that have a lot of lobbyists, and we all know this, you know, it's the same thing we're preaching all the time. And, you know, it's sad, but that's ultimately the truth. And I think, you know, when I was younger, like you'd always talk to your parents and they would always, you know, be jaded about things. And, you know, when you're young, you're so optimistic about everything and think you can change the world and things are going to be better and blah, blah, blah. But then once you like see how the world really works, when you get to a certain age, you really do become jaded by a lot of things. And I think that this whole vaping thing has really... It's really kind of scorned me on a lot of the government, a lot of things like that, to even confirm a lot of things that I already thought, and that's sad, man. It's sad.
It is.
It really
is. I
is.
used to not give a shit about no politics or nothing. I never I just said, you know, I don't really give a shit. I don't pay attention. Now it's forced me to pay attention to the shit that's going on and how fucked up it is. It just makes you more fucking mad. And it is true. Like, you know, you're told when you're a kid, like, you could be whatever when you grow up. All right, I want to be a fucking vape reviewer that gets paid on YouTube. Well, you can't be that.
Right.
It's fucked up, man.
It is.
It makes you... like I say all the time, every time I hear an advocacy conversation that ends up with the same thing in my head, it's just like, what the fuck was I born into? It's just so fucked up.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I think advocacy, you know, is fantastic and it has to be done. It's frustrating though. And I can only imagine, you know, we'll touch on the topic here for a little bit, but it's got to be frustrating. You know, it's got to be like trying to push a wall because the wall's not moving. And it's like, you know, no matter what you do, you know, all it takes is a couple $1 million in a really shitty commercial to fuck up everything you're trying to do. And, I really think the only way that you can effectively advocate for the industry is one-on-one and in groups of small groups. I don't think you can do it publicly. Get smashed. You have to convince people one at a time or 5 at a time or something like that it's a healthier alternative, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of knowledge to do that.
We are a very as much as vaping has grown over the past, you know, what's it been? 12 years, 13 years that it's been around, you know, we've gotten some really good numbers. You know, the numbers of people vaping are estimated in the millions, which I think is awesome. But we are just a small smidgen of a population that is 100% disruptive to the cogs that are spinning in our government and in our world, not just our government. So, you know, it's a difficult thing to be excited and positive in, you know, in advocacy, because it, you know, there's so many more losses than there are wins. You know, we're always looking for that win. And lately, it seems over the past couple of years, wins have been laws that have been passed that have been pushed to the wayside for now. We view it as a win because we think, oh, 3 or 4 more years of products, juices, companies thriving, people having jobs, people having a healthier alternative to smoking. But the reality of it is it could all be taken away from us and given to big tobacco, and they can choose to just go with the flow. And the government's going to be happy because they're getting their taxes. They're going to be able to claim that they regulated vaping and they've abolished teen vaping, even though the numbers are the number of teen nicotine users as a whole is way down. The number of smokers as teens is way down, but as a side effect, the numbers of teen vapors has went up, but they don't look at it as a positive because they're choosing a healthier alternative. They say, well, kids are having nicotine's poisoning, and it's putting worms in your fucking brain.
Worms.
It's so much farce and so much fucking bullshit that goes into it that these little sneaky fucks spread to these advocacy groups, these anti-vaping groups, and it makes its way up through the government. And then you see videos with millions of views on YouTube with a kid takes a vape off of like a fucking Juul, and he's got fucking little cartoon worms crawling through his fucking head.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Like, really? Like, if you want to focus on worms, why don't you focus on how the South has a fucking hookworm problem, that people are getting these bacteria fucking infestations in their brains, and it's literally causing people to not be able to think correctly.
Mm.
You know, if you want to talk about worms, the worms are the people that are working on Capitol Hill. I can trust me. They're the worms.
Yep. Basically, in Germany, the news always bullshitting about vaping, like there are crazy chemicals in there. And when we think about it, always when people on the streets go in front of me because I have a huge ass penis vape, and they tell me, dude, what the fuck, you don't know what you do with your body. And then I tell them just really nice and correctly. So I tell you everything that's in this juice bottle. And then I tell them, when you have a really high-graded toothpaste, there is some peachy in there, because the peachy is in there that your mouth smells longer like mint. Then when you take some gum, there is some glycerin in there, or Vichy, so it don't stick to the walls of the paper, or like gummy bears, is also some bee wax or glycerin or Vichy in there. And when you eat like a strawberry yogurt or anything, like you really think there are strawberries in there. Like literally, you don't think there is some fruit, a flavoring or any kind of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And basically, nicotine is in any kind of dark vegetable, like in potatoes, is some nicotine too. I mean, in small amounts, but you're still consuming nicotine every day when you eat potatoes, and it don't harm you. Like, basically, shut the fuck up. So, you know what I mean? And the German news always find out there is some new shit in there. So it's so fucked up. I mean, what gives the person the right to say so bullshit about something when they don't have any kind of text about it?
They can say anything they want. That's the problem. There's no regulating.
3 years ago, the thing was diacetyl in vape juice. Well, a single cigarette has like 800 times the amount of diacetyl as the worst offender of diacetyl in juices. Yeah. So what did we do as an industry? We said, well, okay, you can't have that. So we took it out.
Yeah. Do you know the American Lung Association still has popcorn lung on their website? Yeah. It's still there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's fucking crazy.
So stupid.
It's crazy. I mean, it's such fear mongering. It's not even funny.
Yeah, wasn't there like one actual proven case of popcorn lung ever in existence of humanity, and it had nothing to do with vaping?
I don't know. That poor bastard.
I mean,
love
you
popcorn,
should highly warn people about one person in the history of trillions.
Nick, do you eat popcorn? You like popcorn?
Popcorn's alright. It gets stuck in my teeth.
Get stuck in your teeth? Could you imagine eating enough popcorn where you got popcorn lung? That'd be a lot of fucking popcorn.
You must watch a lot of movies, bro.
That'd be a lot.
Popcorn.
Did I tell you?
I got a taste of popcorn lungs.
Did I tell you about the guy who almost beat me up at the movie theater about 3 weeks ago? Did I tell you that story?
Almost.
He almost beat me up. No, he'd have whooped me. He'd have whooped me good. He was pretty big. And he got mad at me because I spilled popcorn in the aisle and I didn't clean it up.
You and fucking 50 other people.
Well, that's the thing. And yeah, he was very angry about it. He's like, "Are you gonna go back there and clean it up?" I was like,
What are you supposed to do? Get down on your knees in the dark and pick up popcorn?
That's what he wanted me to do. He had on a jacket with reflectors on it, and it scared me. He was reflecting on the way out. Yeah.
He worked there.
Was it a guy that worked there, or was it just a customer?
I don't think he worked there. I think he's just a moviegoer, a cinemist. Is it cinemist?
Wow.
The cinema
Yeah,
guy.
cinemist.
He wasn't.
Sounds more like an assamist to me.
He wasn't very nice. He wasn't very friendly. And yeah, he was gonna beat me. Like he's gonna beat me up. I told Veronica, I was like, "Look, I'm gonna hit this guy, and then I'm gonna run. And I suggest you do the exact same thing. You can go the other way, run that way, and I'll run this way."
But
Yeah,
you have
fair.
a really big pro on your side, actually. Like, basically, you are a vapor. When you start hitting your mod and you blow a big cloud in his face, you have two options. You punch him as hard as you can directly in the face because he don't see that coming. Or you're running away just really quickly until your vapor go away.
I'll take option number 2. You know, if I had hit him with that big ass penis vape, I fucking smack him right in the face with it. right in his grill. I bet you wouldn't say nothing then, would he? What do you think about that? Getting hit with a big penis in his face.
Well, you could use one of Talon's vape
Yeah.
as a fucking branding element. You know,
fucking
just take
bust
the
him with
top
that
cap
thing.
off and
You're like,
you know.
I didn't have my
time.
vape with me. I was in the movie theater. I had my pocket, my jewel, not jewel, but my pod. I was vaping that during the movie. It's a very enjoyable movie until the end.
Got real. It got real.
Are you guys messy eaters? I'm a terribly messy eater. Like literally, I eat popcorn. Like half of it ends up on me. Like and that's why I stood up. That's what happened. I stood up and popcorn just like that's probably what got his attention. Because I stood up and like popcorn went everywhere, and I was like, oh fuck.
Dude, I eat with 2 fucking ladles. That's how I eat.
I like ladles.
There's a hole in the bottom of
big
the
ass bowl, and I'm just like,
Scott had a hole
But
in the
that's because you're a bodybuilder and you need 10,000 calories a day. So, I know that.
I eat like a 6-year-old. Literally, I eat like a 6-year-old. I'm like, I'm awful. It'll be everywhere. I can't wear anything nice. So I'll fuck it up.
But that
when
is
I eat.
kind of sweet.
All right, guys, what time is it? Oh, we got 10 minutes left. Let's do some questions. Anybody got any questions? Anything they want to ask us? You can ask us about getting beat up. I've been beat up quite a few. Have you guys been beat up a lot? I've been beat up a lot, quite a few times.
No, I beat up a lot of people.
You beat up people, do you, Talien? You're an ass kicker, are you?
he's the fucking
My right hand looks.
he's the vaping bully.
That damn, you got some big ass hands, some clubs. Are German people okay? I got a question for you. Are German people typically tougher than Americans? You think in general, like on the scale, like if you were to get like a group of Germans and a group of Americans, and you put them in like an old school like rumble, who do you think would walk away the victor?
I think the Americans would win because of one simple reason: they put out their guns and shoot.
Well, that's true. We're certainly more violent. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Like,
There's some violence. There's been some violence. We have a little history there. But...
Basically, I would shortcut my tube and throw it away like a grenade, but then maybe I have some luck. But
I wouldn't fight you. I would. As soon as I saw that fucking cock vape coming at me, I'd be fucking moving quickly. Fuck, because that thing's huge. But no, I'm telling you, I think Germans would kick our fucking asses. I do. Have you ever watched like the World Cup soccer? Germans are always like super muscular and strong. They're all like they look like machines. They're like I think they would whoop our ass. I think. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Germans. I believe Germans are bigger people, right? They seem like pretty tough people.
Yeah.
I think so. But then again, I watch a lot of movies, and the movies in America always show America on top, no matter who it is.
That's true.
yeah, but American movies are much better than the German ones, I have to say. So,
Are they? We got good. We do have good movies. You ever watch American pornography?
yeah.
American pornography is fantastic. If you've ever
Never
watched
watched
any,
German pornography?
no, maybe. I think I have watched some German pornography back in the day. It's pretty good.
Oh dang! Did they say something about Kartoffelsalat and something?
They do what?
I've watched South Park, so I've watched German pornography.
The show has just got south. Our
Yeah.
viewers just dropped by like 20.
We
Like, what?
derailed hardcore.
We derailed.
Wait, what? We talk about porn and they went out? What the
You wanted to know what coil porn is. This is it.
fuck? I have a lot in my desk. Should I show some?
fine. So, Scott, what do you take off on Thursdays now?
My show? Yeah. I take Thursdays off, Nick.
What a slacker.
Well, dude, let me tell you, the 5 days a week, the 5 days a week was killing me. And I think
you went 5 days straight for like a solid year.
A solid year,
and
bro.
I'm like, I don't know how you do it, because after I do one show a week, I'm like, all right, I'm good for 6 days.
Yeah, a lot of coffee to get me through, a lot of it. And I'll tell you, like, I think combining Thursday and Friday will help bring a little bit more content, because I think I was getting pretty. It's hard to have content every day, 5 days a week. It's hard, and so that's why I decided to just take Thursday and combine it with Friday. So we do the free Friday, and then we do the Vape Hot Tub, which I love the Vape Hot Tub. Vape Hot Tub's awesome. So
hot tub's
basically
fun.
I have the same problem. So I don't have a show. That would be nice one day when I have a computer and not only a phone.
Yeah.
So, but my problem is basically when you look at my course, I basically take 5 to 6 hours for every build, or maybe sometimes 4 or 3. And then I have still to edit them because I don't have a black background. I use my phone, and with my finger I swipe over it so it gets black. Sorry. And then I have to upload it every day. I try really hard to upload every day a new pick, and every second or third day a new coil. Like, basically so hard with my work and school and my home and everything I have to do. So I know you struggle. I know you struggle really hard.
I know you're trying to. I know we got to wrap it up soon, but Tobias, I think that you would do really good with the show.
Yeah, I do too.
You can always keep talking, and that's important. To keep to not have no dead air is important. I think you would do really good with it. It seems like you could hold a show by yourself. The way that I always see how you talk on shows.
Plus, he's got that majestic beard, so it gives people something to look at.
He's handsome. Yep.
He's a handsome man.
He's a handsome man. Absolutely. He's eye candy for the girls.
Whoa. I saw some fierce nipplage there, I think.
Dude, take your shirt off and give me views. I don't
Yeah, exactly. Wait.
That's nice.
No, basically, I don't talk that much. My biggest problem is I can really good understand any kind of English person. I can understand literally like anything, everything. But my problem is to explain something. Like, I really swipe out in a long range of motion. So to just explain a little thing, because the struggle with English when you're a German.
Well, your English is way better than my German. I can tell you that.
Yeah, but basically German is not a world language, and English is, so everyone has literally like talk English.
Yeah, see, us Americans, we're hard-headed, so most of us only speak English, and a lot of us can't even do that well. So
yeah, a lot of us, majority of us can't do that well.
Yeah. So,
that's the unfortunate
basically
part.
I love
Why
American.
looking at me? Why are you guys looking at me?
Use guys. Hey man, you talk perfectly normal for somebody from Philly.
Yeah, I love the way Nick talks. I think it's fucking awesome.
Oh,
Dude,
we
that's the
need
first thing I
someone
say every time I go
Alabama.
in the Nick's chat is use guys.
Use guys. Hell
guys.
yeah.
But we fucking need someone from Alabama. I love the accent. Like, it sounds so fucking funny. When they come up, I run you over with my diesel truck in the backwood. So it talks shit like that. It's so fucking awesome. I love it.
Dude, you should hear Heavy talk when he's pissed off. Oh my god.
He gets real southern.
He starts to get mush mouth real quick, and I love it. I love it.
What the fuck
I
is a
intentionally
mush mouth?
get him fired up just to hear him talk. So it's pretty funny.
I've seen him pissed
What the-
twice on two different shows. Yeah, he was pretty upset, man. He was mad. I didn't notice how he talked though.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what I hear. That's where I'm from. So that's what I hear when people get mad
You hear
anyway.
a lot of fucks and
Yeah.
dumbass and a lot of obscenities, but you know. Heavy's a good old boy.
He is a good old boy. Absolutely. All right, guys, time to wrap it up. Before we get out of here, I'm going to give you each the stage to Tell everybody where you're from, where you're at, where they can find you. And
I'll go first.
Go for
I'm
it.
Johnny Drips. You can find me on Instagram, Johnny_Drips with 2 P's. You can also find me on Heavy Metal Vapors channel Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. We do the show Never Heard of Them. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out. It's a good time. Usually lasts about hour and a half, depending on if we have guests or topics. We just bullshit, talk about mech mods, what's in the market. We talk about advocacy sometimes, we talk about life. If I'm not doing that, I'm probably chilling with my 7-month-old son, little Dribbles. And if I'm not doing that, I'm probably taking long walks on the beach with my dong hanging out of my shorts because I'm Tommy Lee. That's about it. So, Nick, why don't you tell us where we can find you?
Yep, N.Devine83, just like the name right there, on YouTube and Instagram. I'll be live tonight I think I'm going to do 7:30. I got a couple things to take care of. So 7:30 start, and doing the Coil class. So if you are trying to get into coil building, come on by and watch it. I'm still early in coil building. We're just doing Helix and Clapton tonight. Straight up Helix and Clapton, no drill. And yeah, that's where you find me. And yeah, thanks for having me, Scott. And over to Tobias.
So you can only find me in Germany. No, that was fun. You can find me on my Instagram. The name is right here. So built by Talien. And basically no one else. Actually, I only use Instagram. I hate Facebook and that kind of stuff. And a quick note at the end: when you see my build and have any kind of question, just ask, send me a DM. Don't have a fear of asking, because that happens a lot of times. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a German, and that's why. So I don't know.
All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks, everybody, for showing up. And Johnny, Nick, Tobias, thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate it, man. I hope we can do this again soon. It was kind of threw it together at the last minute, but I figured we get on here and bullshit for about an hour and have some fun, and I had a great time, man. You guys are great.
Anytime you want me to come and wape like a rock star,
I might wape you. You're not careful.
Wape me in here.
Why do that? All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Tonight on the YouTubes, you got Nick. Nick is going to have Coil class tonight. That's at 7 o'clock. And we have, what else is on tonight, guys? Tuesday is, I think, Fresh is on.
ST is on.
ST is on at 8. Fresh, I believe, is on at 9. And I think that's it. If there's anybody else I'm missing, I apologize. Thanks, everybody, for joining the Motley crew, Motley Coil crew. Do you like the picture? Do you guys like the picture? I thought it was hilarious. Thought it was pretty funny. It's a little Motley crew for you. Guys, have a fantastic night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on the Vape at 5. I'm doing the review of the Rebirth RTA. So tune in. Same bad time, same bad channel, 5 o'clock. See you then.